Good evening, everyone. I see Kathy Gupta, a practicing chartered accountant from Meerut, wholeheartedly welcome you all on the behalf of the Committee on Financial Markets and Investor Protection in this webinar today on 16th of September 2023, whereby two of our esteemed and learned speakers, Dr. Bharat Tharmani and CA Abhay Chandalya would enlighten us about using the right methodology to filter trending and non-trending stocks and IEPF compliances and freezing of physical shares. Let me brief you about the Committee of Financial Markets and Digital Protection. The committee performs various functions like it prepares suggestions on various bills, regulations, notifications, circulars, and other financial market-related documents for submission to the government or regulator. It interacts with various agencies continuously to address matters concerning financial markets and investors' protection. This includes coordination with the Reserve Bank of India, Indian Banks Association, Non-Banking Finance Companies, Regulatory Authority of Cooperative Banks, and Securities and Exchange Board of India. Not only this, the committee collaborates with the stock exchanges, associations, trade bodies, regulators to conduct training programs, seminars, webinars, grievance press camps, and conferences on topics like derivatives, options, futures, hedging, and investment strategy. It also creates informative materials such as booklets, pamphlets, brochures, monograms, and a digital mobile app to educate investors and the public on investor protection, exit strategies, and transaction structure. It initiates research studies in the field of financial market and investors' protection to better understand and address relevant issues, and it plays a proactive role in addressing emerging challenges and opportunities in the financial market domain. Moving ahead, now let me take an honor to invite one of the most respected, revered, and honored chartered accountants of a fraternity, C. Charanjot Singh Nandaji, the chairman of this board, who currently chairs 3 committees in total, namely Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, Committee on Financial Markets and Investors Protection, and Committee on Information Technology of South Asia Region. In the past, he has served as the chairman of a number of committees at different points of time. Some of them are Internal Audit Standards Board, Committee on Banking Assurance and Pension, Public Relations Committee, Research Committee, etc. He is also the member of Quality Review Board set up by the Government of India. He has also served as the member of SEBI Advisory Committee on Primary Market and Committee on Mutual Funds and represented ICAI on SEBI Committee on Disclosures and Accounting Standards. He is also the convener of the expert group constituted by MCA, Government of India on Investor Protection. Not only this, he is a member of Southern Asian Federation of Accountants, SAFA. He also served as the chairman of NIRC during 2002-2003. Coming to his academic pursuits, he has contributed as a guest speaker at Surrey, Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia chapter of ICAI on IFRS, Effective Communication and Forensic Accounting Seminar. He has contributed as a guest faculty and program coordinator at various seminars and conferences of the and he has made presentations and chaired sessions on proposed GST regime in India, IAS 12 on income taxes, IAS 18 on revenue. His contribution has been enormous. You can assess it from the very fact that I have just highlighted 1/4 of his achievement. So with these words, I welcome Nanda sir today. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you, sir.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The two very learned and reverend speakers of the day, CA Bharat Tharmani, who would speak on using the right methodology to filter trending and non-trending stocks. The second speaker, my very dear friend, CA Abhay Chandalya, who would speak on IEPF compliances and freezing of physical shares. The moderator of the day, CA Kathy Gupta, Animesh Singh from the board, Arpit ji, Ayaz ji, and all members have come here to go home more enlightened. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm truly honored to be amongst you. The reason is very candid, very simple, that financial market is very close to my heart. And with the market at all-time high, lots and lots of people are getting involved into it with an objective to create value and worth by investment in stocks. So ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, at this time, it becomes pertinent on the committee to provide right training, guidance, and information so that the concerned stakeholders can take informed decisions. Stock market has various connotations. Number one, कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि बाजार में लखपति होना बड़ा आसान है, provided आप पहले से करोड़पति हो. And there is a different notion altogether with other people. They feel that if you intend to become a multi-millionaire by legitimate means, the only option is the stock market. So it ultimately depends upon your mindset, how you intend to invest in the market. And for that, we have bought Mr. Bharat Tharwani, a man who knows market in and out, who's able to filter out the stocks which are in vogue and stocks which are not participating in the rally. Coming on to the second speaker, Mr. Abhay Chandalia, who would speak on IDPF compliances and freezing of physical shares. Mr. Chandalia has led his life serving investors, telling them how to save their capital. Death is imminent, but when it comes, there are certain stocks which do not have a nominee. There are certain accounts which do not have a nominee. The legal complications are too much cumbersome. And Mr. Abhay Chandalia, as a mission, advises people how they could create a right path by doing things with discipline. So not speaking much now, I would just end with a couplet. The couplet says, गर खैरात में मिलती कामयाबी तो हर शख्स कामयाब होता है. गर खैरात में मिलती कामयाबी तो हर शख्स कामयाब होता. फिर कदर ना होती किसी हुनर की और ना ही कोई लाजवाब होता. If you want to create value, if you want to earn your right dividend from the market, you need to do research. You need to get involved, and your intelligence will help. And investor protection, we shall be there at your beck and call and give you the best of the speakers. My best wishes to the webinar today, and I welcome all of you to go home more enlightened, putting at rest all the doubts that may have crept over the years. Thank you. The dais is all yours, Gyati. You could invite the speakers and take the session forward. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom, which always fill us with energy and the spirit of enthusiasm. Now, let me take an honor in inviting the first speaker of the session, Dr. Bharat Tharwani ji. Dr. Bharat Tharwani ji has been an active trader for the last 10 years. He has cleared all the 3 levels of Chartered Market Technician, CMT designation, and serves as an affiliate member and volunteer with CMT Association. Dr. Bharat has also obtained the CFTE designation from the International Federation of Technical Analysts. He is currently working with Young Turtle Hedge Fund, AIF Category 3. He works closely with a team of data scientists, quant analysts, and portfolio managers who utilize algorithmic quantitative strategies, quantitative analysis, and advanced data techniques to identify and exploit investment opportunities in increasingly complex and data-driven financial landscape. His team has developed a unique in-house software based on personality that helps in accurate market forecast. Their key areas of focus are algorithmic trading, quantitative analysis, data science and machine learning, risk management, high-frequency trading, market microstructure analysis, research and development, and regulatory consideration. They believe future volume growth in financial markets will be dominated by quant-based systems, algorithmic techniques, and high frequency. Sir, we wholeheartedly welcome you to this platform, and I'm very much sure that our audience is going to have lots of key takeaways from your session. Over to you, Bharat, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy, for the wonderful introduction. First of all, I would like to thank ICAI committee, especially CA Charanjit Singh Nanda sir, for giving me this opportunity to show my skills. And I would just say that ICAI is blessed to have a person like Nanda sir, such a rich experience and such a what a speaker. I mean, sir, मैं जब भी आपको सुनता हूँ मेरे रोंगटे खड़े होते हैं. You are such an inspirer, and I think ICAI as an organization is truly blessed to have you as a person leading this committee on financial markets. Lovely to listen to, or every time it's lovely to listen to you. And thanks
a lot, Tharwani sir, for your kind words. Thanks a lot.
Welcome, sir. So I'll just share my screen right away. Okay, is it visible clearly?
Yes, sir.
So, thank you, Kathy. You've already introduced myself, but still, I'll say a few words. I have obtained the CFT designation from International Federation of Technical Analysts. It's a global licensing body for for the technical analysis. And I have cleared all the 3 levels of Chartered Market Technician program, which is globally the highest qualification in technical analysis. Currently, I'm working with Young Turtle LLP as a partner. It's a hedge fund. We are SEBI registered hedge fund it comes into category AIF category 3. First of all, the disclaimer: the securities and opinions expressed in this webinar may not be suitable for all the investors who must make their own decisions based on investment objectives. And this may not be taken as a substitute for exercise of independent judgment of all the receipt. I'm unable to view my screen. Just a second. Yeah, perfect. This may not be taken in substitution for the exercise of independent judgment by any recipient. All the charts discussed in this webinar are truly for educational purposes, and you must all do your own research and analysis before investing. So first of all, we as technicians, we as technical analysts, what are we focused at? We want to identify the trend as soon as possible. Our main goals is to identify trend sooner. We should be able to identify when it is changing, when it has changed, when to enter a position, when to exit a position, and when to close the position when our analysis is changing, when our analysis is wrong. So we are purely focused on capturing the big moves, and that only can be done through technical methods, our chart patterns, our trend indicators, our supply and demand analysis. So all those things will come subsequently in the next slides. Just a sec. Perfect. Yeah. So supply and demand is affected by emotions of investors. So we as technicians, we try to find the inefficiencies in the supply and demand. The supply and demand itself is created. It's a reflection in the price, and price, as it's said, Bhav Bhagwan She. So price is the best reflection of what is happening in a security. And we as technical analysts want to time the markets. We want to time our entries and exits in a way so that we can make the most out of the trend. So all the major moves, we are focused at capturing the trends. Trends are fractal in nature. Whatever will happen on a smaller time frame will also be reflected on a bigger time frame. And our purpose of visualizing charts is to see the action of market participants. Some investors may be emotionally taking decisions. Some may be rationally taking decisions. So all those things are reflected on charts in form of candlesticks, in form of volume patterns. So we want to capture the moves so that we can benefit. We are not concerned with what other investors think, what institutions think, but our goal is that we should benefit from the charts. Human nature does not change, neither does the law of supply and demand. Anything that has happened in the past, or if a particular pattern has happened in the past, has a big chance of happening in the future. And this is what we do in the chart reading. We have the past data, and we use this data to interpret the future price action. And it works. It's not just goes for the theoretical aspect of it, it works. The past things have an implication on the future. And as I said previously, our main goal is to identify the entry and exit points. The second goal is to identify the patterns that can help in identifying the further trading opportunities. So now we come to the crux of it. Whatever trend analysis is to be done, I have listed these 11 categories under which I'll be taking my presentation. Each and everything I'll be discussing briefly. So how, अगर हम बोलते हैं कि हमें एक ट्रेंडिंग या नॉन ट्रेंडिंग तो आइडेंटिफाई करना है, हमें ट्रेंड जानना है, तो ट्रेंड जानने के 11 मेन चीजें क्या है? 11 से भी ज्यादा, ये फर्स्ट 10 थिंग्स आर देयर: गॉजिंग सेक्टर परफॉर्मेंस, ट्रेंड लाइंस, पैटर्न्स, कैंडलस्टिक्स, वॉल्यूम एनालिसिस, मूविंग एवरेज एंड MACD, ADX and DMI, Bollinger Bands, RSI, sentiment measures, and open interest. So these 10 are the factors that help you in riding the trend. And the last 11th one, the exit strategy, which is also part of the trend. Just by riding the trend, you're not going to benefit. You need proper exit strategy. So that is why I include the 11th exit strategy also in my armamentarium for trend analysis. So any stock, any security, any index, the first thing should be gauging its outperformance. So how do we do that? Suppose we are all bullish on PSU banks, but you as an individual investor, you want to think rationally whether the PSU bank index is really outperforming or not. If someone tells you you should buy Dabur, or you should buy HUL or any FMCG stock, you should not do right away go and buy the stock. You must initially gauge whether that sector is outperforming or not. So here in this chart, what I have done, I have plotted the candlestick chart of Nifty PSU Bank Index, and the yellow line at the bottom, which you see, is the line chart of Nifty 50 Index. Now here you can clearly see that in the last year, from October till August or September of this year, the PSU Bank Index is up by 55%, whereas the Nifty from that period is up by 12%. So you have a clear indication that Nifty PSU Banks has outperformed, and something that has outperformed will continue to do so. So you want to be in the outperforming sectors. If you follow a simple trendline analysis method also, you can see that in December it formed a high at this point, and then somewhere around June, it crossed its previous high, and that also indicated that the sector is in an uptrend. So that's what you do. First, you go to the first step, which is the gauging of sector outperformance. You can use any charts, you can use any index, you can use Reliance against the oil and gas sector. You can use any two components of the equity markets of in the universe which are there. You can even compare something from a cross sector. You can put a stock of, say, you can put Adani Green Energy against, say, oil and gas index. Anything you can put. So this is the primary thing which I do, and identifying the weak and the strong sectors. And in the strong sectors, you look forward to the best of the stocks, not the laggards or the underperformers. You select the best stocks from the best sector. That should be your primary criteria. And again, sector, when you consider the sector outperformance, you see that whether that sector is going through some big structural reforms or not. So we already know that banking sector and defense sector, these are the two sectors that are going through big structural reforms due to the economic and the government policies. So that should be your first criteria. Now, just a brief example of Nifty Realty Index. As I said, you should buy when that index is outperforming. So this is a chart of Nifty Realty Index. Now, as we can see that from the period of October last year till June, July of this year, the Nifty was outperforming. The CNX Realty Index was underperforming. Then suddenly what happened in June, July, the Nifty Realty Index crossed over. And since then, it has crossed over. It has not cut this Nifty line chart. So here we can say that from June to July, what has happened, the Nifty Realty Index has started to outperform the Nifty, and now it's in an uptrend. So don't be a layman, use your own analysis. If anyone says buy this sector, buy this stock, this should be the first thing you should do. You should know your methodology to gauge whether that index is outperforming, whether that sector is outperforming. So this was the first thing. 10 more things are remaining. We'll come to them subsequently. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Great, thank you. So the next thing, now you come to the charts, now you come to the classical methods of determining the trend. Once you are sorted with the best stock of the best sector, now you come to the line, the candlestick chart of that sector. You should look for higher highs, which is a classical indication of an uptrend. Your trend line should be somewhere close to 45 degrees. That is indicative of a uptrend. Drawing the best way, the simplest way to determine an uptrend is drawing trend lines, and then those trend lines will help you in determining the support and resistance levels. Anything that is breaking out from its previous highs is an indication of a strong trend, whether it could be up or it could be down. So you look for breakouts, especially supported with good volumes. You look for chart patterns. You look for ascending triangles, descending triangles, your inverse head and shoulder patterns. If you see price action with good volumes crossing those chart patterns, it's an indicative of a good trend following move. As I said, trend lines, the simplest way for trend identification. When you're drawing trend lines on your chart, make sure that there should be at least 2 touches on the price action. When you are making an uptrend line, you have to use the lows. And when you are making a downtrend line, you have to use the highs on a line chart or a candlestick chart. And trend lines should never be used in isolation. You must always use them in conjunction with your candlestick patterns, your indicators, MACD and RSI. And after coming to the trend, after drawing trend lines, you come to look for the patterns. You must know which are your reversal patterns, which are your continuation patterns, and you must also know what are your high performance patterns. Some of the patterns like a tight flag, inverse head and shoulder, a wedge, these are the patterns which have great success rate. So Thomas Bulowski has written a book on various patterns. You can precisely know that in the last 10, 15, 20 years, which patterns have performed well. The percentage-wise performance is mentioned in that. So there are some of the very common patterns are, as I said, the wedge and the inverse head and shoulder, they are high performance patterns. You must know them. You must take advantage of the big moves after formation of those patterns. Like your trends are fractal in nature. In the same way, patterns are also fractal in nature. That means the patterns will also keep on happening. They will try to, at different stages of a life cycle of a stock, the patterns tend to repeat. And these are the patterns which these patterns give you an indication of riding the trend. Candlesticks, I exclusively limit my research to candlesticks because they are very good indicators of trend reversal. I avoid line charts and other charting methods. Candlesticks are something which are used by a wide variety of the market participants, and they give the best look at the charts. And when you're using candlesticks, just make sure that you use minimum 2 time frames on your candlestick charts, daily, weekly time frames. At least 2 are the minimum. You can shift to monthly, yearly, and then other larger time frames as well. And when you're drawing your support and resistances, your trend lines on candlesticks, you must look at both the real bodies as well as the lower wicks or upper wicks of the candlestick patterns. And candlesticks are something which don't give you price targets, but they are indicators of early trend reversal. And don't use them again solely. They must be correlated with your other analysis factors, which I'll be coming to them subsequently. And when using candlestick, there's a very important concept known as convergence concept, which you must take into your methodology. In this chart, we can see that there is an uptrend, and what has happened around the resistance level, there is a bearish candle formation. There is a bearish harami which has formed. Now, after the bearish harami, we can see that the next candle is again a bearish candle, and it has opened and traded subsequently lower than the high of the previous candle. So here we can clearly see that this was a support, this was a resistance level, and here we got a technical signal that the reversal is here. So more the number of signals. Now, if at this stage you see some increase in volumes, your RSI and other MACDs started pointing down. So that confluence of factors, it gives you a more stronger signal that the trend has reversed. So convergence concept, remember in your trading methodology. So you have decided the best stock from the best sector. You have drawn your trend lines. You have done your, you have seen breakouts on it. You have seen your candlesticks. And now what comes? Now, how do you confirm your trend? So volume is the first factor. Always remember, this is the most important line of my presentation, that volume is always the primary confirmation of your trend. Your trend indicators, your MACD, RSI, your oscillators, they will come later. You always confirm the trend primarily with volumes. So volumes, what do you want? You always want big volumes with big moves, and volume always precedes price. So this particular point we'll see on the charts. This is chart of a security. As you can see that after periods of April, just as the bullish candles were being formed, the volumes were accelerating constantly. And then it broke its previous high, the volume increased even more. So this is an indication. Your constant increasing volumes are a big indication along with price action that you are on the right aspect of trend. If you are riding a bullish wave in this trend, you are on the right aspect of trend. And similarly, if you see that volumes are declining and the stock is making 52-week high, you should not be convinced in such moves. You always get a conviction from volume, and volume can help us identify whether stock is being accumulated. So this is what happened. Somewhere around between April to May, the stock was being accumulated probably by some big institution. And after the big pop in volume, you can see that the stock has rallied almost 3 times in a couple of 8 to 10 months. So big volumes at key points is indispensable. Exit volumes at new highs. This particular point we'll see on the next chart. Again, coming to this same chart, we can see that when the security touched the price of around 90, there was some decrease in the volume. So that decrease in volume is indicated that there are no new sellers. So you shouldn't be too worried about that. If your other stop loss mechanism, your trailing stop losses are in place, you shouldn't be worried about that small decline in the price and the volumes. And then we can see that after a period of rounding formation and some consolidation, between July to August, again, the volume kept on increasing. And from July to August till September, October, the volume have constantly increased. The price has also constantly increased. So you correlate both the things. Similar examples, you always look for high volumes on breakouts to give the confirmation that the move is genuine. In this particular chart, we can see that the stock was in a range from July till August, and around mid-August, what happened? There was a huge candle formation, a huge bullish candle supported with big volumes. So these are the moves which confirm the genuinity of that move. If this breakout would have happened with low volumes, you shouldn't be getting huge conviction in such moves. So on the next chart, we see that the stock has crossed its high. The stock is making 52 weeks high. It is in the stock price is increasing. But what is happening to volumes? There's no subsequent or substantial increase in volumes. So such moves you should be wary of. So what has happened after making a high of 2,700, the stock has come to somewhere around 2,390. So such moves which are there with your low volume, you shouldn't be convinced on the moves of such stocks. So this is how you correlate the price and volume. If the price is rising, the volume is rising, there is an increased demand for the stock, the implication will be bullish. If the stock price is rising and the volume is falling, it indicates distribution is happening, there is a less demand of that stock, and eventually we will anticipate some bearishness. If the price is falling and the volume is rising, that means it's a genuine bearish move. There is a increased supply in that particular security. And if both are falling, which happens in bear markets when the volumes are extremely at low, and when the volumes are at extreme low levels, that indicates decreased supply, and eventually the stock will rise up. So you have done your volume analysis also. You have found the best stock from this best sector. You have drawn your support resistance levels. You have had a volume confirmation. Now comes the secondary confirmation. So secondary confirmation, you can use moving averages and MACDs. Moving average is the best methodology to identify and profit from trends. So in moving average, there are several strategies are there. Like you use them for determining trend. If the moving average is up, you say that the stock is in an uptrend. To determine the support and resistance levels, they act as your stop losses as well. to give specific trading signals like crossovers and determining price extremes. Out of these four strategies, the third one, to give specific signals like crossover, is the most trial and tested strategy and the most effective strategy in moving averages. So here, as you see on the chart, what I have done, I have used two moving averages. You can see a black line and you can also see a blue line. So black line is the 5-period exponential moving average. The blue line is 20-period exponential moving average. So here, it's obvious that the shorter period moving average will be very close to the price and the longer period will be at some distance. It will have some lag. So the longer period moving average, we can see it has some lag from the price action. So when we are using the crossover strategy, we want the shorter period moving average to cross the longer period moving average from below if we are anticipating a bullish move. So here, as we see around August, what has happened? August, the black line has crossed the shorter period moving average has crossed the longer period moving average. There is a big bullish candle formation, which is supported by volumes. And subsequently after that, what has happened? That the shorter period moving average has led the longer period by a big margin, and it has not reversed yet. So until it reverses or until it shows some sign of exhaustion, I will keep riding this trend. So that is the crossover methodology is the best methodology when you're using moving averages. In the same way, when the shorter period moving average crosses the longer period moving average from above, which is known as the death cross, that is a bearish anticipation in that particular security. So as I've used 5 and 20 period moving averages, exponential moving averages, you can also use 20 and 50. You can use 50 and 200. It depends on what time frame you are riding the trend. And if you're looking at some shorter time periods, not short-term trend, you can use 5 and 20 combination. Medium term, you can use 20 and 50. And for a long term, you can use 50 and 200 period combination of moving average for the crossover signals. So now we come to MACD, which is a derived indicator from the moving averages itself. And in MACD, we have a good combination of momentum and trend, and it's a good trend following indicator. So as you can see on the chart, it's the same chart. We can see the crossover of moving averages, and on the chart below, on the MACD chart, around the same point, you can see that the blue line, which is known as the MACD line, it has crossed the yellow line, which is the signal line. Now in MACD, you have two lines, the blue line, which is difference of 12 and 26 period exponential moving averages. And you have the yellow line, which is known as the signal line, which is the 9 period exponential moving average of the MACD line. So what basically you want is the MACD line to be trending upwards and be always above your yellow line, your signal line. And that will confirm that you are in an uptrend. In the same way, if you see the period around between May to July, you can see that the yellow line is up, the blue MACD line is trending downwards. So here we are anticipating that the MACD indicator is showing that we are in a downtrend. At the same time, the histogram, the red bars are also indicating bearishness. Here, as I said, when the MACD line is leading, we'll have a positive MACD. Sorry. Another trend indicators which I prefer to use in my methodology include the ADX and DMI. ADX is average directional index and DMI is the directional movement indicator. I'll just come to the next chart where we have the same things in continuation. So we discussed about MACD. Now we come to the DMI, which is at the bottom. DMI also, when the blue line, the positive directional movement is upwards, it indicates a bullish move. And when the yellow line, which is the negative DI, when it's trending downwards, it indicates a bearish move. Now, other than these two lines, you see a third line, the red one, the central one, which is known as the ADX. Now, ADX is a trend determining indicator. Now, whenever you have very low values of ADX, somewhere around 20, 25, that indicates that a new trend may be beginning to develop. And when you are at extreme levels of ADX, that indicates that you are at trend extremes. You should book profits. It may be bullish or bearish, but ADX does not give you the exact bullish or bearishness. It indicates the extreme, it measures the trend. Like 40, 45 extreme levels will indicate that the trend is going to exhaust, and the lower levels, 20, 25, when it indicates a gradual rise, it indicates that we are now in a strong trend. It may be upwards or down. So, in a brief nutshell, ADX measures the trend and DMI shows the direction. So, on this particular chart, we had confirmation from multiple factors. So, first of all, we had our moving average crossover. Then, our MACD was also pointing that the MACD line has crossed the signal line. Then at the bottom, we saw positive directional movement. We also saw the ADX rising up. So you get multiple confirmation from multiple indicators, not too many indicators. I think one should limit to just 2 to 3 indicators. You should not use a confluence of 10 indicators. 2, 3 are good for any kind of study. Use a simple methodology. Don't overcomplicate things. Use your simple candlesticks, trend lines, MACD, DMI, ADX, and one more important thing which will come next is the RSI. Yeah, Bollinger Bands as well. So now we have put all the indicators. How do we know the volatility? How do we know that how volatile our move is? And Bollinger Band is a perfect indication of that volatility component. It's a unique blend of trend and volatility, very widely used by different market participants. And Bollinger Band, there are very specific trading strategies. All of you might be aware of construction of Bollinger Bands. There is a central moving average, which is a 20-day simple moving average. There is an upper band, there is a lower band. And whenever the volatility will increase, the bands will expand. So the Bollinger Band theory is based on a simple concept that whenever you are whenever you are witnessing extreme low levels of volatility, that periods will be eventually followed by periods of high volatility. So volatility is dynamic in nature. That is the central concept of using Bollinger Bands. And the old methodology was that when you reach the upper band, you sell it. When you reach the upper band, sell it. When you reach the lower band, you buy it. So those are range bound strategies. Those are not momentum based or trend following strategies. In trend following strategies, on the contrary, when you get a breach of upper band, that's a most bullish indication. You want to ride the trend more. So closes outside the Bollinger Bands, they are continuation signals. They're not reversal signals. And as I said, volatility is dynamic in nature. That is a central concept in construction of the Bollinger Bands. And a most important point to remember, many trends are born in trading ranges when the bandwidth is quite narrow. So on the chart below, you can see that somewhere around the period of May, we had this two big bullish candles. Simultaneously, the bands also expanded. So the returns are in the volatility. The returns are, the big moves are in the volatility. They are in the expanded bands. Now, once you see the bands getting expanded, there would be a period when the bands will also shrink. Although the bands are a little slower to shrink in comparison to their expansion. So at that time, when you see that the bandwidth is at extreme levels, you should look for booking profits. So extremes in the bandwidth are an indication that we have had a good, bigger move. And now, if your other indicators are pointing to some bearishness, you can look forward to booking profits as well. So on this chart, we can see that the recent price action, you have typical Bollinger Band walk. All the candles are walking in the upper band, indicative of a very strong trend. There is a constant increase in volumes as well. And the farther the price action away from the central moving average, the more the indicative it is of trend strength. So you want to ride such big moves where the band is expanding and you are witnessing a bullish price action. So next we come to the RSI, the relative strength index. RSI, there are several trading strategies, but the most important and the most profitable ones in the RSI are your divergences, which help you in the most better way. First of all, we all know that RSI is a oscillator. The 70 and 30 levels are set as default overbought and oversold levels. But I have a different take on it. If you are in a bull market, you can and you must modify the RSI levels. Your overbought should be at 80 or 90, and your oversold should be at 40 or 45. So, in the same way, when you are in a bear market, your overbought can be somewhere around 60, and your oversold can be somewhere around 20. So, these, as you can see on this chart, that in the recent in the months between June and August, the price was consolidating. The price, in fact, was slightly lower, but the indicator at the bottom was moving upwards. It was making higher highs. So there was this is a small disparity. You see that the price action is more or less sideways and your indicator is pointing upwards. So such moves indicate bullish divergence. In the same way, you can also have bearish divergence when the price action is increasing and the indicator is falling. So divergences is something that can really help you in gauging whether that up move or down move is genuine or not. And RSI, again, you can use the classical methodology in RSI. You can apply trend lines, and RSI not making another highs. Like in the most recent price action, we have seen that the RSI is reversing from a double top kind of a pattern. So if it's further falls below 70 or something, that may be an indicative of trend reversal. So that is how you use multiple things in your analysis, not just limit yourself to one or two things. You look for confirmation from various indicators, oscillators, and that's how your analysis should be. It should be a combination of multiple factors so that you can make the most out of your trading journey. Other than RSI and indicators, I also follow sentiment measures for market data, futures open interest. We always want the open interest to be increasing if we are in a bullish phase, if we are anticipating bullish move. And if we are anticipating bearishness, the open interest should decrease. We'll come to the open interest chart, which is there on the next slide. Put call ratio, a very high put call ratio indicates that, we are having more puts than calls. And that could be, a small warning signal. A high put call ratio is something you may anticipate. You can say we are anticipating some bearishness in the coming time. India VIX, the volatility index. So it's a very interesting thing to notice the chart of VIX in the last 1 year. What has happened from the period of October 22 to September of this year, the India VIX has been in a downtrend. So we know that VIX has an inverse relationship with the stock market indices, and until and unless VIX increases or it rises to very high substantial levels, I think we are more towards a bullish move only. And there will be periods of volatility whenever the VIX is at remarkably low levels, just as you have Bollinger Bands, which are based on concept of volatility is dynamic. In the same way, VIX also, whenever there are dramatic low levels of VIX, there will be bounce back from those levels, and there will be your high volatile periods also in between your periods of low volatility. Open interest, as I said, it is the total number of futures and options contracts that have not been exercised or closed. It represents difference of opinions amongst the bulls and bears. Here I have had three charts which are a confluence of price, volume, and open interest. Whenever the price is rising, the volume is also rising, and the open interest is rising. It is indicative that new buyers are entering in the market. We are anticipating a bullish move. When the price is rising, the volume is falling, and open interest is falling. That indicates a short covering rally. When the price is falling, the volume is rising, and open interest is also rising. It indicates new shorts. And when all three factors are falling, which happens at the end of a bear market, that time we may anticipate some bottoming and some reversal. So we have discussed all the 10 factors that you all must consider in your stock gauging, stock analysis, all the indicators. And after you have done all the analysis, all the factors are there in place, you should look forward to exit strategies, the stop losses, the most important aspect of trading. And stops are something that should be inviolatable. Wherever your stop loss levels are, that should not be modified. If you're using trailing stop losses, if you're using the protective stop losses, if you have bought a security for 800 and you see that the moving averages, your trend lines are going to reverse, say at 675 levels, you must book at 675. If you see some bearish chart patterns, your indicators are indicating that the stock is going to further come down to 500 or something, you must cut down the losses. You must exit at 675. At that time, your emotions won't work. If you are emotionally attached to that stock, if instead of 675, if you emotionally decide, oh, I'll put the stop loss at 600, let me shift. So that is something which you are not disciplined, not following the right discipline. So in stop loss, you must follow the discipline, and your protective stop loss should never be cancelled against the trend of the security. Primary exits from trends are stops, and this 7 to 8% limit was defined by William O'Neill, which he has defined, but it is not an exact amount. But if you think logically, if you have bought something and that has corrected to 8%, that itself indicates you are going against the price action. So this is as per William O'Neill, who says that cut every single loss when it is 7 to 8% below your purchase. And cutting your losses, it's same as buying insurance policy. You should take your losses very quickly and profits very slowly. You should ride the trends, and you should cut your losses very fast. I have listed 5 to 6 methods of trailing stop losses. Out of all these methods, the ATR-based stop loss methodology is the best. And other than that, a lot of people use trendline and moving average-based stop loss, which are also good. Whatever methodology you're using, the parabolic SAR, you must adhere to your principles. You must adhere to your discipline. You must adhere to your trading principles. And there are also other methods of stop losses like percentage gain based. If you have had, say, 2 lakh rupees earnings from a particular stock, you decide to book profits. Time stop losses, say you decide to hold a security for 15 days, and then whatever your profits and losses may be, that is a time-based stop loss. Those are not very good methodologies to use stop losses. As I said, ATR-based are the best ones, but trendline and moving average also should simplify your analysis. So the key takeaways from the presentation which I just shared, there's no easy formula for wealth building. Build your own systems, follow your systems. as Nanda sir also said the same thing, that you must work hard for your goals. You must work hard to make it big into the markets. And that should be the right learning from Nanda sir as well. In the financial markets, long-term equilibrium is rarely reached. Prices will change constantly. Nothing is perfectly stable nor constant in the markets. From time to time, markets will shift their emphasis from small to large caps and from large to small caps. You must be able to spot the points when that is happening. You should always buy fundamentally sound companies when they are emerging from strong bases and they're close to making new highs or increased volumes. You don't want to buy companies which are half in their price action. You always want to, only if you want to capture the trending moves, that is only possible in stocks which are close to their 52-week highs or around 5 to 10% close to their 52 weeks high. And again, then you put all your indicators, your volume and other analysis to confirm the uptrend. You should look for companies with low float. The companies with a big float, in such companies, the bigger moves are less. There are less chances of bigger moves in those companies. So this is an added point that you can put. You can look for companies with low float. They tend to move more faster. Sell quickly if you have small loss rather than waiting and hoping that they will reverse. Again, the stop loss methodology. Extremes in sentiment mark the end of trend. Average upwards, not downwards. Look for abnormal strength on a weekday. Now, on some big bearish days, you see certain stocks making new highs, certain stocks showing a very positive price action. So those are also signs you can pick up stocks from those category and put your analysis on them. Profits are made by riding the trend. Oscillators and indicators should only be used as secondary evidence to confirm the trend. It's excellent to buy a trending stock at its support level. Markets are mostly chaotic. Within these chaos, the periods of order and structure appear. The essence of market analysis is for the trader to have a discipline and recognize when these periods appear, and the trader must have the courage to trade them. And in the trending markets, oscillators may remain overbought conditions for a prolonged period of time. As I said, RSI, just don't limit your analysis to a overbought, oversold kind of thing. There are the big trending stocks will always have higher RSIs, so don't think that a higher RSI is an indicative of selling. You must ride the trend. You must use other factors. You must correlate with other factors. What is more important in market fluctuations, not the event themselves, but the human reaction to that events. And that is why it becomes very important to watch the emotional aspect of market that can only be done by technical analysis. Always buy the leaders, avoid the laggards of the industry. As I said in the first point of the 11 points listed, buy the best stocks from the best sectors and use the remaining 10 factors to correlate your analysis. And you should do great in your trading journey with these simple steps. Although we have so many other factors, if I speak about a lot of other sentiment indicators, breadth indicators, it will take a huge time. But all those are also important part of the trading decisions. But the 11 points which I have listed are the building blocks. These are the most important ones. Without these 11 factors, I think if anyone is doing trading, investing, you must reconsider yourself. You must look all these factors. And a lot of people say that technicals only work for trading. It's not like that. Your investment decisions should also include technical analysis, your technical studies. Fundamentals are there. Nothing works in isolation. One must always include fundamental and technical studies you should use the best of both. You should use best of both worlds, both the worlds in your analysis. And even if I say technicals work in isolation, that would be wrong. In our criteria, the technicals also, the fundamental factors are also included. I see the stocks which are generating high ROC, ROE, and those are showing increased earning trend and increased sales. So although those factors are also the primary factors that one should consider, but to ride the trend with the right velocity, with the right speed, with the right manner, and to get a timely entry and exit, you must include the technical factors which I have mentioned here. And I hope all of you will keep all these things in mind. And I'm still a learner. Nanda sir said that, initially that I am a pioneer at this. No, I'm still at learning phase. And fundamentals is something I would like to learn from the CA community. All of all of the CAs, you guys are excellent in your fundamental journey. And maybe in the coming time, whenever I get an opportunity to learn fundamentals from all of you, I'll be more than happy to learn the fundamental aspects as well. So that should be all from my end. I would look forward to conclude the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patient hearing. And anyone who's having any doubts or any reviews about anyone with a review of my presentation, you can contact me on my email, or you can just, if you have any questions, you can post on the Zoom. I'll be happy to answer them. So thank you so much. Thank you, ICAI. I'll conclude here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat sir. So we have received one question. The member is asking which site is better for seeing all the charts.
Gyati, your voice was breaking. Can I just stop the screen sharing first?
Okay. Sir.
Yeah. Okay, it's not there. Yeah. Yeah.
So member is asking which site is better for seeing all the charts.
I use TradingView, which is the most commonest of them, and you may include stock charts, investing.com. There are so many portals, and I personally prefer trading.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So we have no other queries. So it was quite sorted, sir. So thank you, Bharat sir, for your insightful session, whereby you have briefed us about using sector outperformance, trend lines, patterns and candlesticks, volume analysis, moving averages and MACD, ADX, DMI, stop loss mechanisms, Bollinger Bands, open strategies and exit strategies. Such sessions are very much needed, and you have done justice with the requirement of the session. So thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, proceeding with the second leg of the session, let me introduce CA Abhay Chandaliya ji. He is the co-founder of Share Samadhan, India's largest unclaimed investment recovery advisory company. It has recovered more than 1,500 crores and is helping investors to recover their lost, forgotten, or scattered investment, and is having total 26 years of experience that includes more than 14 years of service in the field of finance and management work. And he has worked with KK Birla Group, ArcelorMittal Group, Limeyer, International Nickel Gandhi Group, and Ellen Group. He's a renowned chartered accountant and company secretary and involved in financial management and capital market. He started his business in the name of Share Samadhan Private Limited, which has been working especially in the field of recovery of money for the last 8 years. And he's the fellow member of ICAI, ICSI, and he's a law graduate from Rajasthan University. He has done MCom, MBA, BCom, and he has also done diploma in business finance, diploma in personal management, and he's a qualified independent director. He has authored article on unlocking 2.3 lakh crores of physical shares, a challenge, in the newsletter of NIRC ICAI. We have already heard him at different platforms, different TV channels like Zee Business, Doordarshan, Rajya Sabha TV, Business Week, Bharat, Economic Times, Amarutla, Dainik Bhaskar, Hindustan Times of India, Rajasthan Patriot. So we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. Over to others, sir. Sir, you are on mute.
I'm just sharing the screen. Just hold for a while. ये WhatsApp से बात करो यार, कहाँ से sharing the yes, screen sharing.
Yes, sir. Screen, sir.
Screen sharing started.
Yes, sir.
You can see my screen.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay. So a very good evening to each and every individual. First of all, I must thank ICAI for organizing a seminar on a recent topic, which is very important for all the investors. That includes the chartered accountant who are also investors, their family, their clients, and all. And I must thank Mr. Nanda for choosing this topic and giving me this opportunity. And I will really appreciate his efforts, the type of efforts he and this entire capital market team is making is really worth commendable, because ultimately everybody is creating the wealth, and many a times when they need this wealth, they are in trouble to reclaim their own wealth. We all are working hard day and day night, and we want to fulfill our dreams also. For that, we invest money in various modes. It may be shares, it may be mutual fund, it may be FD, it may be real estate, it may be old in earlier time, it was UTI, then postal savings, PPF for government employees, it's GPF. When we are working in a private company, there is a RPF, recognized provident fund. So there are various type of investments. And when we do business, then many a times we need a hand loan also from our friend, from our other peer group friend circle, from our relatives. And many a times another big corporate is also taking a loan from another corporate, you all must be knowing, called as ICD. So all these are real time asset. But why we create the asset and we make the investments is to fulfill our dream. Our dream may be for higher education of our children, for starting a new business after few years of business or practice or job, or for even education of our children, and for creating wealth for the family and for retirement also. So what happens to our money? You all must be knowing that if we don't care of any asset which is at our home, or which is any asset class, whatever I discussed with you, like दिवाली की सफाई पे अगर हम किसी चीज का ध्यान नहीं देंगे तो वो खराब हो जाती है, या काम के लायक नहीं रहती है, गिफ्ट के लायक भी नहीं रहती है. So in the same way, it is very, very important for all of us to keep a track of our investments, watch it regularly. Please take care of like our health, because health is wealth. I'll tell a true fact. Even though I said health is real wealth, but to recover your health, you need wealth. Without money, even doctor is not going to attend. Even the hospital will not admit you like this. So everybody need to take care of their money, all type of asset, and we are very importantly make a right decision. Like Mr. Bharat also said, ki there are various ways of choosing right stock. So there are various ways you choose the investments. I am not a wealth advisor, so I'm not going to talk what asset and where to invest. That is a different domain. But wherever you have made the investment, it is very, very important to keep a track of it, keep the proper documents, and in case of any contingency in the life of the investor, that money should be transmitted to the family member. Last year through to 3 years back, also we have seen into Corona 2022, 2021, also we have seen the bad phase of our life. I wish the God do not give this type of occasion, which is very harsh and very tough to digest, that we lost many our family members. Why I'm discussing about that is life is full of uncertainty. You don't know what may happen with whom at what time. Recently, just on last Sunday, I was with my father-in-law. I left home at 11:30 and suddenly at 4:15 I am getting a call, Abhay, please come back. Your father-in-law is no more. So like this type of uncertainty, people are not aware. People don't think that it may happen with that individual. So like we save the money, we make investments, but at the same time, do we inform our family member what all the investments are, what type of documents are there,
Abhay
what
sir,
yeah, yes, yes, Gyati,
sir, your slides are not changing.
yes, I'll change. So I'm just making a background of this. Yes. So
Okay.
what happens is that we make variety of investments actually. So like in stock, equity, insurance, postal savings, properties, mutual funds, private equity, gold, silver, bank deposits, private equity share, private company shares, even you buy some SIPs, mutual fund, etc. But what happens whether it goes in the right hand or not? Whether we keep the proper documents of the investment document or not? Many of us are using technology. Many of us are keeping some hard copy also, even we have made the investment in soft copy by digital way. But whether your family is aware of it or not, that is the reason why the share goes to IPF. That is one of the topic. Other investments go somewhere else. Other investments become unclaimed. So right now, today, our topic is IEPF, Investor Education Protection Fund, and there is authority has been created which is taking care of this entire shares. Let me share a fact with you. Like most of us are our viewers are chartered accountants, and many of them may have also invested money in stocks. Many of their clients also may have invested money in the equity form. That may be both ways. It may be a listed company. It may be unlisted company. Correct? And it may be a LLP also. So there may be some capital which they have taken. So, so what we get at the time when we make the payment towards share application money, the shares are being allotted. If I talk to you, the year around Harshad Mehta time 92, when there the listed company shares were trading in stock market, people used to go in the circle. There was a circle. They used to bid, shout a lot, and then only you can buy the physical share. There were another share broker who will sell, one share broker will buy on your behalf. And you don't know what was the accurate price, but you have to trust the share broker, whatever the price is being communicated. So the price at which they have bought, the broker used to add the margins. Say you bought ITC at 20 rupees, maybe in 82 or 92 or 94, 95, 96. So broker will tell, sir, I bought it at 25 rupees. So you have to trust there was no any other way to verify the price. So broker also used to make good profit out of that. But after that, the online trading started, dematerialization started, And even I must thank BSC and NSE and SEBI, who controls all these things, and our regulator for that becoming very stringent and very tough and tightening the system and transparency, so that now all the trades at whatever the price is being traded can be verified from that BSE or NSE portal, that can be verified. And not only this, there is recording is also kept by the share broker before they execute the deal, and once they have executed a deal also they confirm. So if there is an error by the share broker, immediately you can catch hold of that. So the topic relates to the physical share. So let me share a fact with you. There are many reasons why the shares are becoming unclaimed and why there is a need of IEPF compliances. So the shared dividend continuously, if it becomes unclaimed by an individual or any entity, it may be any legal entity, HUF or private limited company or a limited company which has bought shares of another limited company, and continuously for 7 years, if the dividend is not being deposited into the bank account, even if the shares are in physical or in demat, so the shares dividend will be transferred to Government of India in IEPF, Investor Education Protection Fund. But after that, a new regulation came. If the share dividend is becoming unclaimed, so after 7 years, that continuously dividend with shares will also be transferred to IEPF. I don't have the accurate numbers, but as per my research and tentative assessment, I guess the approximately value of physical share which has been transferred to IEPF should not be less than 1 lakh crores. I think it will be very tough for all of us to even write that number actually. 1 lakh crore or more. Approximately 4,000 plus crores is unclaimed dividend. And as you are aware that SEBI is also conducting some education awareness program about that. CA Institute, other professional body institute are authorized to organize such programs to make people aware, investors awareness program also. I also had got the opportunity to speak in many conferences, seminar organized under that segment. So why that? So the government want that people should be aware about all these preventive measures to be taken, corrective action to be taken by the individual or by the share claimant. The share can become unclaimed due to the death of the person. Share can become unclaimed because the address is changed. Share can become unclaimed because the name error is there and the name of the person in the PAN card and Aadhaar card and bank account is different. So like this, there may be multiple reasons for which share can become unclaimed. So let me give a indicative figure. 4,15,000 crore is the tentative unclaimed amount as of India in which there is a problem or they are in physical in the country. That includes physical share approximately. This I am talking about only the companies which are actively traded in stock market. There are many companies whose shares are also there, but they are not listed now. Earlier, they were listed, but they have not gone to IPF if the company is not dividend paying. So if the company is doing well, there are sister shares are there for which the company do not pay the dividend, then the share will not go to IPF. That is one catch that we must be aware. In the same way, there is a mutual fund worth rupees 25,000. These are approximately figures and which can be verified if you do some online research also. Inoperative bank account is worth rupees 64,000 crore or more. Insurance 23,000 crore. Singly, LIC is having more than 50,000 crores unclaimed money. Postal saving approximately 9,400 crores. Provident fund, public provident fund, and government provident fund includes put together is more than 80,000 crores. This is hard-earned money of each and every individual. Can you believe this number? And here we must advise our clients, our viewers, all individual. It is a moral duty of any learned person to educate the society, like Institute is doing by this seminar, to how to take care of their investments and all. So let us know why the money go to IPF or it become unclaimed. Investors don't track their investments. Like I said, we make the investments, after that we have forgotten. Earlier we were staying in the village, and after that we moved to a city, one city to another city, a small house to a big house. But unfortunately, we have not intimated the company about the new address. One day somebody come to you and ask, do we have shares? Yes. Oh, the share price has gone up like anything. If you Google the value of 100 share of Wipro, face value 100 rupees in the year 1980, the present value of their share must be more than 700 crores. So that is the power of being invested. If you remain invested for a longer period, it may go to that number. Also, there are another few companies, may the value may be few hundreds of crore, 100 crore, 50 crore, 10 crore, 5 crore, 10, like this. So it depends. What is your decision? I'm not commenting about that decision, to how long you must keep invested and wait for it, because sometimes we sell the share and after that we regret, oh, price has gone up again. And how the shares are multiplied by way of bonus share, by split. Sometimes there is acquisition, sometimes the company takes over another big company. With this growth, the share prices also goes up. There may be any other growth potential in the company, and the company has become debt free. Also, they have taken a big contract of few thousand crore, etc. But what happened? Do we track that? And do we know that we have not informed the company about new address, and about there is some changes in the family, or even the name of a spouse? After marriage, in general in Indian culture, the surname of the girl post marriage also changes. Sometime there is a father name come in between the name. Sometimes we start with some alphabets of a state, of their village, etc. Like this. And one big mistake what we commit is we not inform our family about all the investments made, because there may be multiple reasons that we don't want to share with the spouse. If the spouse come to know about that, okay, you have so much money in the bank account or FDs and all, there may be some other demand, big demand of jewelry and saris, other things may come up. Sometimes we don't inform our brother, sister, they may ask for it and all. But because of such a silly mistake, that unclaimed amount of money you have seen has become 4,15,000 crore. This do not include the loans, this do not include the real estate. So I am covering both the reasons behind that and some corrective measures also that we must take. So family member, we must educate about all the investment made by us. And many a times, because of the death of the investor, many family member is not aware what to do, how to get it transmitted to the surviving family member, what are the compliances to be done. And you may have some 100 shares of one company, and after split and bonus, that shares have been multiplied, and that 100 share may have become 10,000 share or 20,000 share. And if you multiply with the current price, that value may go to n number. It may become 10,000, it may become 10,000 can become 10 crore or 100 crore also. And in some few years back, there was some cheaters had made cheating with them and run away with these documents. Because of that, also many people were not trusting lot of people, lot of professionals who came in between, and they have not done the proper work, and that money has also become unclaimed. One more thing I must blame, there is a clumsy process to claim investments. It's not like this. One of the clumsy process I will say is IPA, but fortunately there is some digital process has been started. So now that has become comfortable for an individual to track their to file the claims also online. Now, many of the Indians has gone abroad for the job, for the work, for any business and their professional work, etc. And when they come to India for the celebration, for occasion, etc., so they don't have the knowledge what to do, how to claim the shares from IPF, how to get the share transmitted to the family, and how to get a duplicates issued, how to make the correction in the name if there is an error. Like somebody is writing A.S. Singh, his maybe full name may be Amrendra Singh. Somebody else, Amrendra A.S. Singh, S stand for Amrendra Simranjit Singh, because Simranjit Singh is the name of his father. So there may be that type of error somebody has made. Like my name is Abhay Chandalia. I am Jain. I can write Abhay Kumar. I can write Abhay Chandalia. I can write Abhay Kumar Chandalia. I can write AK Jain, Abhay Jain, like this. In old days, so many people used to take the advantage of multiple name because there was no KYC system was there. You can open any account just by introduction, and one person may have multiple folios in for the same person. So that's the wrong thing which they have done, but now they are facing the problem. Sometimes we open a bank account in the nickname of the family member or the individual. And after that, few years later, if they see that the KYC document which we have, that is also another important aspect of today's discussion, is if we have not seen the correct spelling on our PAN card, Aadhaar card, investment document, then share investments and Demat account and any other asset class. I will just request all the viewers to keep a check today itself after the session, and they can see there may be some error in the name itself, in the father name itself. There will be some different addresses. Unfortunately, they have not updated to the company where they hold the investments. There is a change of address is very common. I studied in Bengal, then I have moved in here, there in many places, and now I am finally settled in Delhi. So there may be multiple changes. So we have not informed that. That is also another big problem for each and every individual. So here, a very important aspect is that we must ensure before submission to IPF for processing any duplicate formalities also that please check the name in the following document. The name and the father name both must be correct in all these documents. Your Demat account, your bank account, your PPF account, policy account, mutual fund, national pension scheme. So everywhere, even though on the PAN card and the Aadhaar card or any other your election card document and your passport, everywhere your correct spelling should be there and your latest address should be there. Otherwise, you will face difficulty in claiming that investment, even if there is a small error of alphabet itself. Even if the Kumar was not there in between, the investment will not be transferred or transmitted to another member because of that small mistake. So be careful, be sincere about your investment, because this is the hard-earned money which you have created. Wealth has been created to fulfill our dreams. You don't know when you need that money, or you already have a planned investment that after 25 years of my marriage, around that I will be needing money for the children marriage, or after 20 years or the children goes to school or college age will be needing that fund. Then you will face this difficulty. So be aware of this. So let me share a fact with you about this IPF and all. To what extent they can be claimed and when they go and become unclaimed. Things you must know. Unclaimed dividend and shares go to IPF after continuously 7 years. So if the dividend is claimed in between the 7 years, so then from that day you have claimed the share dividend. After that 7 years, the company will wait for it. So first 3 years you have not unclaimed. In fourth year you awake and you claim it. Then from fourth year onwards, another 7 year has to be added. Then only the shares will become unclaimed. But fortunately, even if the money goes to IPF, you can claim it back. There is a process is there that we will discuss later on. And there is inoperative bank account for 10 years. The bank keep the money with them. After that, that money will go to DEAF, that is Depositor Education and Awareness Fund, maintained with RBI. From there, this can be claimed for only 15 years. So the money, if become unclaimed, and after 15 years also, within 15 years, you don't awake and you don't complete the formalities, it will be very tough for you to get this money back. And finally, this money will be held with the government. Central government will own this money for any welfare activities for the senior citizen. Unclaimed insurance for 10 years goes to SCWF, Senior Citizen Welfare Fund. So if the insurance amount which I discussed with you, something around 25,000 crore, which has become unclaimed, goes to this SCWF account, but only for 15 years, the amount goes there, you can claim it back. So from the after 15 years completion, that money is not claimable. That will go to the government itself and that will be at a government disposable what to do. वो क्या करेंगे गवर्नमेंट जानती है, आप क्लेम नहीं कर सकते. सो आपका अनक्लेम डिपॉजिट आप क्लेम नहीं कर सकते और सीनियर सिटीजन वेलफेयर फंड में गया हुआ पैसा भी क्लेम नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन शेयर्स और डिविडेंड आप क्लेम कर सकते हैं. Unclaimed mutual fund are maintained in separate liquid fund that can also be claimed after any period. There is no limitation on that. So what is IEPF? That is the main topic. Investor Education Protection Fund. IEPF was created under Section 125 of the Companies Act 2013. Before that, it was not there. So what it includes? The money which is becoming unclaimed in the form of dividends, mature deposit, that is small deposit taken by the corporates, ICDs, and mature deposit taken by the company, share application money, debentures, interest, and shares. So all this money, whenever it become unclaimed or somebody is not claiming it or there is a discrepancy of any reason, they will follow the system. They will wait for 7 years and after 7 years, they will transfer to this IPF account. So the who is the controlling body is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So Ministry of Corporate Affairs has set up an IPF authority for IPF administration and release of fund and distribution of shares from there. So there is a procedure is there. What is the purpose of IPF? Educating investor about the market operations. Like many times you must have seen the banks are organizing, mutual funds are organizing, even BSE, NSE, MCX, all these other professional bodies are also organizing this investor awareness program to make people aware about market operation and warn them that not to go look at the very lucrative offers or in somebody is calling कि double हो जाएगा 4 दिन में 10 दिन में महीने में 5 गुना हो जाएगा ये हो जाएगा. In short span of time, if anybody is calling you and giving you this news, why he is not making all the money into that investments? Why is asking you to put that money? He can borrow and put that money, but they have a malafide intention. There is some background working they must be doing, and they have a intention to run away from the market. So be aware before investments. Please read the company balance sheet, do your own analysis. We all are professional. And if you find out some mistake or some bad news or some wrong news, you must inform your friends also. Then IPF educate investors They regularly they keep on organizing programs, various places, even in corporates, institution, even in the professional bodies, etc., to analyze and inform decisions taken by SEBI, etc. Correct? So they inform about the latest changes, what is happened, and that includes I have also incorporated those changes taken done by the government. And they also share what are our rights and under various laws and rules and regulations, what we can do in case something wrong happen with us. What are the limits? What is the procedure? There is a website has been created by government. Correct? Making investor aware about the various procedure, how to claim that money, and how much money is laying there that can be claimed after completing that formalities. Then disbursal of unclaimed funds to investors. There is a procedure is set up. There is authority that inform and that follow the process. And if there is any discrepancy, then it is the duty of the RTA to inform us and complete that formality. And even if the IPF also raise some questions, and many times they also have rejections, and so it is our duty to complete their requirements and complete the paper formalities. Then only your share will be released and dividend will also be released. So now, what is the procedure? This is a very important procedural part is there to how to claim refund from IEPF. So obtain entitlement letter from RTA or the company. So first of all, we need to write to the company along with supporting document like the KYC document, your PAN card, Aadhaar card, your client master data, and the company detail, etc. You write to the company or the RTA because sometimes the company itself do their RTA. Sometimes the shares are missing and there is a gazette notification is required for the mistake in your share certificate and other documents. So sometimes gazette notification is needed, sometimes newspaper advertisement is needed. So all these formalities we need to complete, and after that we need to apply for the entitlement letter from the company or the RTA. After that, after getting this, what you need to do? You need to go to MCA portal and file IEPF form number 5. And after submission of that, I'll show you what are the contents of IEPF form 5. And after that, you make a note of it, or definitely you will get a email also of that. So after that, what we need to take a printout of the filled form, IPF form and acknowledgement and other mentioned documents, whatever you have attached with the form. So all the documents you need to keep and take a printout, and after that you need to submit all documents to the nodal officer. Who is the nodal officer for IPF in the company? In general, it is a company secretary. Now, since the volume of the work has been increased, so the company can delegate this power to their junior company secretary or the concerned departmental person in their secretarial department. So they will look at it, all the record, they will verify and they will see if there is any discrepancy. Then they will send a letter to you or an email to you that this is the discrepancy, these documents are missing, there is error, etc. You need to complete that formalities and all. And after that, you need to submit all this. And then again, you need to submit this IPF form 5. Company verifies all claim forms within 30 days of filing. So what they will do? So companies will verify all the forms within 30 days of filing and send verification report. After verification of this form, they will send a verification report to IEPF that all these documents have been verified. I'll show you one letter of verification report also, what type of document they send to us. And after that, they will send to IPF, and IPF will verify everything is all right, and then they will release the funds. In general, nowadays IPF is taking more time. It may vary another few months. It may be 3 months, and it may go up to 1 year also. So there, I request, if somebody is watching from the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, if somebody is there, I request sir to please expedite this process, because once the verification report has been filed with IPF, and if there is no any discrepancy, then please release that document immediately. Fortunately, our Nirmala Sitharaman has issued one statement that if there is a senior citizen, then their claim will be processed fast. But for other non-senior citizens, God knows when you will get it. You may have a waiting period of any time between 3 months to 12 months also. So please be aware of that. And whenever you are filing these documents with the nodal agency also, you can keep on tracking with them by way of email. It completed faster. So now here, this is IPF form number 5. I think this is self-explanatory. You can see what documents are there, are needed, name of the applicant, then address of the applicant. But please ensure that address, whatever you are putting it, is same as per your Aadhaar card or any other address proof document which you are submitting here, and it should be as per your Demat account also. Your phone number, your mobile number, and an email ID, all these things are very important, because if you don't submit your right email, so it will be go to a wrong email, you will not get any response. Your mobile number is not working, please ensure that it number should be yours, not of any self, not of any other person. Company detail, it will be autofill, and address, everything will come autofill. Now details of the shares claim. So with the verification report, whatever you are getting from the company, I'll show you after this slide, okay, what are the contents. From there, you will get this information. How many shares are there, which folio numbers are there. For one person, there may be 1, 2, 3 folios also. In old days, there were multiple folios also. If it is a dividend amount, they will mention the dividend amount also year-wise, because the dividend is unclaimed for many years, 10, 20, 30 years also. So all the unclaimed dividend for n number of years, you can claim it back right now also. For that, there is no time limit. So dividend, share application money, any mature deposit is there, mature debenture is there, interest accrued on the application money, and interest accrued on mature deposits, interest accrued to mature debentures, etc. Everything is there. You can download this IPF form, it is available. And so after this, you need to mention, and remember one thing, you have to file this IPF form for n number of companies if you are holding n number. If there are 5 companies claim, then you have to file 5 claims IPF form. If there are 20, then you need to file 20 forms separately. For 2 companies, you cannot file the same form. Remember one thing, but there is one single form for all the amount due from the same company, that has to be remembered. So separate form has to be filed for each company. Details of unclaimed dividend is also maintained in your entitlement letter. Please ensure that whatever amount is mentioned in the entitlement letter, that should only be filled. If you have different figure, there will be discrepancy, and you may face a delay in that. Finally, that number should be same. Please ensure PAN, passport, and address proof is to be submitted for NRI. NRI passport is also important, that should be submitted. So this is just a sample entitlement letter. I think this is a very important, and all of us can see this, how it looks like and what type of information it has. So please take the correct information from this, and after that you follow the procedure, because that has to be completed. All the formalities should be completed. Sometime if you don't complete that formality, then you may have to resubmit this again. And there is a validity of this. Again, if there is a delay at the company end, there is a penalty is applicable. So you have to chase the company also, because they may take few more months also, because if they don't complete formality, they may take 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months also. It depends on your compliances and the time taken by you to complete this formality. So what type of information? See, name of the company is there, subject transfer of shares or dividend amount to investor education protection fund. Then RTA information is there, correct? Then you see folio number, certificate number, distinctive number, number of shares like this, and reason also undelivered, undelivered, undelivered. See the dividend amount also to the same folio. See the folio number here, same here, same. So different years, 1998 to 99 to 11, 2011, 12, 2012, 13, and here also 2020, 21 also. So all put together in this case, you can see 15,858 is the total dividend which is unclaimed. Now they have mentioned that various document to be attached is IPF form signed, client master, that is the master data of your DMAT, wherever you are holding the DMAT, and please ensure that you do nomination also in the DMAT account. Self-attested copy of your PAN and Aadhaar. Many places earlier they were asking for a notarized copy. Now that has been relaxed, and now even self-attested copies are sufficient in case of transfer. But remember one thing, in the case of transmission of shares, many of the documents they need notarized one only. So even if you make that mistake that you self-attested, then they will not be transmitted. Original share certificate also you have to surrender. One original cancelled check also have to be submitted, and one indemnity bond also. I will show you what indemnity bond contains, etc. Copy of the acknowledgement self-attested by all the holders. Transaction statement in case of electronic holding, that is your depository holding. There also the share can become unclaimed. Because if the account number which is with the share broker or depository which has become inoperative or due to the death of the person, that account has been closed. So there may be multiple reasons, or you are not operating that account, or you opened a new account, etc., or do KYC that has become inoperating. So there should be a affidavit on a sufficient stamp duty must be paid on that. And remember, always mention your phone number and email ID. Correct? So this is a draft order entitlement letter which we get from them. Now I'll show you. This is a draft of indemnity. In general, okay, some places it is on 100 rupees, some places 500 rupees. That we need to check. Exact number of shares. So here it is a sample. It may be of anything that okay, we hereby give you the guarantee, we will indemnify for the shares if we take, and the money for towards a dividend in case you are the not genuine claimant. If somebody else goes to the company and claim that this is the wrong person, because there may be one person in the same name, Vikas Jain, it may be Rakesh Kumar, there may be multiple few thousands of hundreds of person in the country. So there may be some cheating, etc. Also, just to compare, just the company want them to be protected, they take this indemnity from you. But there should be sufficient indemnity will be rejected, and again there will be further delay in that. So till now, if you have any questions, I would like to welcome some question. Gayati, if you have got any question, I would like to take up. And after that also, after some time also, we can take up some more questions also. So it do not become monotonous and one-sided.
Yes, sir.
Have you received any?
Yes, sir. There is one question. A member is asking what will be the procedure for claiming old physical shares in IPEF?
That's what I have already explained. So first of all, they need to apply for the entitlement letter. They need to write to the RTA that okay, this is my PAN card, Aadhaar card is there, and so company's RTA. It may be any RTA, it may be Skyline, it may be Alankit, it may be KFin Technology or Dharashaw, TSR, Dharashaw, anybody. So we need to write to them. After that, they need to complete that formality, and after that, that procedure I've already explained. That has to be followed.
Thank you, sir. So we have received just one query till now. The session seems very comprehensive and clear. So all the queries are getting answered by your presentation itself, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I will continue, correct? So there was IPF amendment rule came in 2019 because in 2019 the government put a ban on the transfer of the fiscal share. They give some window that okay, if you can submit this by 2021, I think was the last date by which you will submit all the documents and even the pending queries also completed, then only the shares can be transferred. Even the transfer deed was old one and it was invalid because the old time the transfer deed was having a validity period of 1 year. After that, SH4 form came. On that, there is no any date is printed. That date is whatever date you put from that, it is valid for only 30 days. So IPF form can now be submitted online to the company, to the nodal officer for verification, reducing the need of physical copies. It is not necessary that you need to send all that time to the company to get this document. Deputy nodal officer can now be appointed by, because of the pressure has been increased, so the volume is increased, so many companies have appointed the deputy nodal officer also in their own company to make the investor comfortable and get the response in lowest possible time. Nodal officer's name and their contact detail along with phone number must be displayed on the portal of the company itself. So that is another important aspect of it, that all company must display some name of the nodal officer which is available on the portal of the company itself. Companies must now submit an online verification report. So now they have to submit an online verification report with all scanned copies of the documents which they have received and the sales certificate, so that they are not lost in transit to the IPF department. Companies, and again there is a penalty on the companies. If you submit a paper within 30 days, they have to reply and file the e-verification report. But remember one thing, if you don't complete all the formalities within 30 days or 60 days, 90 days, the 30 days start when you complete all the paper formalities. After that, even after completing all the documents, they don't submit e-verification report to IPF, then penalty of 50 rupees per day will be levied, maximum of 2,500 rupees. So next one is IPF authority had the discretion to reject a claim if via documents are not received within 60 days. Again, remember, this is very, very important that you need to follow up with the company and IPF also to that they don't reject it. The verification report filed and documents are submitted, IPF form 60 days is the time. And again, the system is now becoming foolproof that they take OTP verification through email also and all these things, so that no any fraudulent activity may happen and it should not go to in the wrong hand. Investors can now file multiple folios or in the same company. Like you may have 3, 4, 5 folios, but for all folios, one single IPF form 5 is sufficient. But remember one thing, if somebody do cheating and fraud, then they will be penalized under Section 447 of the Companies Act. That includes imprisonment and heavy fine. Now, just towards the ease of doing business and making it easy and comfortable, the government made some changes. And after that, earlier the transmission limit was rupees 5 lakh to 2 lakh. So they need transmission success in certificate up to 2 lakh. Now it is after 5 lakh. If the single folio, remember one thing, if the value of 5 companies here you are holding, the total value is 10 lakh rupees, you don't need this succession certificate. If single company folio is 5 lakh more, then you need succession certificate or the probated will. But they have given this authority to the board of directors of the company that they can increase this amount so that people don't have to go to the court and take the successor certificate, because again that also sometimes become cumbersome, and sometimes the court asks the company to come in person, so that time is reduced. Sometimes there is a will, sometimes there is a no will. No probate is required for a will if the following of required documents are there. Sometimes even if there is no will, or even if there is a will, so probate, if will is there, probation was required, so they have relaxed. So if you have legal heir certificate, you don't need a probated will. NOC from the other legal heir, then also you don't need. If you have affidavit from the living witness to the will. So see the importance of the witness to the will. If the witness to the will is there, correct, then you don't need this probate of the will. Affidavit by claiming confirming will at the last will with no pending matter, that also sufficient. But remember one thing, two sureties are very important. In case something wrong happen, then these two sureties will be made responsible, for whom PAN card is mandatory. So this is also a important aspect that we need to take care in case of death of the shareholder, that these type of action are being taken by the government of India, by the claimant or the surviving member of that deceased person. So again, there was third amendment came. Death certificate can be self-attested by the claimant, that is surviving family member, whosoever son or daughter can claim that. The MAT transaction statement can be self-attested by the claimant. So police report we can file online. After that, we can take a printout, and again that can also be self-attested. Duplicate issuance of shares, surety ITR is not required. Earlier, there was requirement of even ITR copy also. But that has been released. Only attested PAN card is sufficient. The notary is needed. This is very important. And in case of documents are lost, you need to apply for the duplicate sales certificate. But the value is exceeding 5,000, you need to give a public advertisement. Otherwise, you don't need to give a public advertisement. The company may take some amount of money and then they give at their own. So NOC by the legal heir. So this is one of the draft of NOC by legal heir. It can be on ₹100. That okay, we don't have any objection, even because sometimes what happens, there are 3-4 brothers and 2-3 sister or brothers are there. They want to give it to only one single family member, because they want to give it entire amount to the surviving father or the mother. They said we don't want to claim anything right now. So all the money you mother or father should take claim. So all their family member can give NOC, or it can be given to 2% or 3% if there are more family members. So maximum 3% can claim the shares. So format of NOC from other legal heir for transmission of securities in favor of the claimant wherein the sole holder is deceased and no nomination has been registered. In case there is a nomination is already there. So in general, then the nominee can claim that share. But technically, nominee is not the real claimant. But in general, if the other family member had an objection, then nominee is just a caretaker. Remember, this is very important aspect, that nominee is the caretaker. If other person object, then other person will get as per the succession rules. Or if there is a will, then will prevail on that. So in that declaration, we need to give name of the company, folio number, number of shares held. There may be multiple companies. All the companies can be mentioned here. The deceased had instated this, had expired on so and so date. That should be there. Name of the claimants, relationship, and their KYC documents should be attached with the name, address, KYC documents, etc. And after that, we need to submit and verify, and it should be submitted to the RTA. Now, recently you must have seen there was a SEBI circular which states that the SEBI circular for KYC norms and investor services. What it says? That KYC should be up to date. Like in the bank, every certain number of years they are taking this updated KYC. If you don't complete that, you're not allowed to get the amount debited from that account. It can be credited, but no debit is permitted. So you need to complete the KYC. In the same way, the government has asked that even in the physical share of a listed company, remember this is applicable only for the listed company shares. If the shares are not listed, it is not mandatory. So what is that? Minor mismatch in signature. So what happened due to age factor, there is a change in the signature. So 20 years back and today's there may be some signature. Correct. So RTA shall intimate the holder by speed post, giving a timeline of 15 days for raising an objection. So in that case, you need to again submit the signature, new signature verified from the bank. They will update that. If the above letter from RTA remains undelivered, then RTA will have to ask for signature verification from the bank. This means that has not been delivered, then the bank will attest that. RTA shall send intimation of changes of address to the holders at the old and new address. So if there is a change in the address, it is a duty of the RTA to send correspondence at both the address, so old address and new address also. So whenever you submit the new KYC document, they will do this. If the above intimation letter returns undelivered, or if there is any objection, say there may be some objection by somebody, RTA shall ask for proof of old address or counterfoil of dividend warrant which was sent earlier in the past, or a bank statement showing credit or dividend. So remember one thing, that even if there is a change of address, it is not very easy to get it changed. You need to prove that you are the genuine person. Major mismatch in signature. In case major mismatch in signature or non-availability of signature in RTA records, there are cases where the RTA says we don't have any signature of records, it has been misplaced or whatever the problem is. But ultimately you are the sufferer. So you need to get your updated signature registered with the RTA by filling up the standard form ISR 2 along with the cancel check, so that they will update your signature along with the bank detail also. Now, what we need to do, a PAN card. Nowadays, see, PAN card is very important. Your bank account is very important. Your KYC document for address proof is also very important. Furniture of PAN is already mandatory, but RTA now will verify the PAN from the income tax department. Earlier, they were not verifying. Taking extra care that they will verify this facility, because there is a facility is available. They can match the PAN number with your name, whatever you have submitted. Self-attestation to replace affidavits or notarization. For all service except for transfer and all, no attestation is required, no notarization is required. But in case of transmission, so you have to get all the documents notarized and affidavits also be submitted. And for all service requests except transmission, copies of documents submitted in hard copies shall be processed by RTA. Correct? And in case of transmission, with notarization. So remember one thing, if you submit any document in case of transmission without notarization, they will reject it. Now next, mandatory furnish of PAN and KYC nomination. Now again, nomination is again mandatory. So you may nominate someone, then you have to fill up SH13. If you don't want to nominate, then you have to fill up SH3 form. But remember one thing, that whenever you're submitting this documentation, you need to attach your bank detail and specimen signature. You leave attested by the bank itself. Remember one thing, please nominate your family, whomsoever you want to give your investment. It may be your father, it may be your mother, it may be your sister, it may be anybody from your family, but that should be updated to the bank. And if you don't want to give money or nomination, then you opt out. No, I don't want to nominate, because after that, if you have a will, it will go as per that. If you don't have the will, then succession rule will prevail. Now, if you don't do this, then what will happen? Freezing of folios without pen and KYC and nomination. If you don't do this, then all these folios will be frozen. They will be locked. So, but what happens after locking? Yes, they will be unlocked. They will be unfrozen. Again, you have to complete this formality. But remember one thing, the window of unfrozen is not very long. So please do it before 30th September with the last date. After that, they will be frozen. Then some additional formalities will be required. So they will make a clarification. SEBI will issue a clarification on that, how that shares will be unfrozen and what additional compliances has to be done. Then it is going to increase your more complicacy and more problems. But remember one thing, if you don't unfreeze your share before 31st December 2025, the shares will be intimated to BMLA, ED, Enforcement Director. So then this is another big complication will be created and it will be treated as property also, Benami property claimant. Then you have to prove that you are the genuine claimant and then you can understand what ED can do. There may be some other complication to other assets also, because if one asset become to add to ED department, there may be many other assets also may come under radar. It depends on you. Now, I request all individual who shareholder or all viewers to keep a watch on that, do the needful, ask your clients also, educate your family and friends member also to complete this formality before 31st December 2024. So the folio will be frozen by RTA. So who is the agency who will froze? Is the RTA, because they only do transfer and transmission activity without PAN, KYC, nomination details are not updated, then they will freeze. The folios which are frozen shall be eligible for lodging any service request or grievances with RTA only after submission of the same document. So remember, again, the same thing which I'm repeating, PAN, nomination, contact details, signature detail, etc. should be updated for any transaction nowadays. You will be paid dividend against all these frozen folio after furnishing all these details. So no dividend, no share can be transferred or transmitted until unless you complete this formality. So if the folios remain unfrozen even after this 31st December, RTA shall refer them to authority under PMLA. For that, still the directive had not come. So let us see what type of department is being created, because this is a huge amount of the money which may go there. I'll share a fact with you, the physical share value. I'm not saying they all are unclaimed, of ITC itself is more than 60,000 crores. Only single company, the value is more than 60,000 crore. You can verify total number of shares of the company minus total number of shares in physical, in demat. So balance number are in physical. So you can calculate with the current market price of the company's share. The RTA shall revert the frozen folio, okay, to normal folio upon receipt of all these documents. So all this formality you have to complete. After that only this can be done. So any other question right now?
Yes, sir. We have received a couple of questions. Let me put it before you.
I request viewers to raise questions. Then I will understand and I will feel that you have understood and you have got clarification to your query also. Please, Gyati.
Yes, sir. So one question: How many
What is
days?
the question?
How many days will it take to receive unclaimed dividend after filing form number IEPF 5 and sending documents to the company?
I have already told approximately from the IEPF department, approximately minimum is the 6 months they are taking.
Okay.
So I have made a request via this seminar to Minister Corporate Affairs to please expedite it, because they just need to release, because all this formality and verification, etc., everything is completed by the claimant. But actually, if I talk, now it is taking more than 6 months to 1 year.
Okay, sir. So I hope the query is answered. Then we have the next question. What if we have lost the physical share certificate and we do not
Kathy,
know?
you are not audible.
Sir, I'm not audible.
No,
Just give
you
me a
can put
moment.
it in the chat box.
Yes, sir. Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, better.
Okay. So the query is how, what if we have lost the physical share
Yeah, what is the
certificate
question?
and what we are going to do if we have lost the physical share certificate and we do not know the folio number?
Can you
How
put it
to
in the
get
chat
it?
box if you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
Can you put it on the chat box because again, hello?
Yes, sir. I put it in the chat box, sir.
Yes. Just now I got, sir, if we have lost the physical sales certificate and don't know the folio number, how to get it? Yes, a very important question. If I hope you remain I'm answering this question. If that individual know the name of the company, then they should go to the portal of the company, take the email ID of the concerned RT of the company, and write the name of the individual and the father name and the probable address as per the records. If you don't remember what exactly the correct address, if you remember the old addresses, please mention all the addresses to the company, then they can help you out with that. Otherwise, if you have received any dividend warrant in the past, you can search it from that dividend warrant itself. If it is laying in the ITR file, individual file, right now you don't have, but it may be there in the old file itself. Even if you don't have, then you can search that by way of going to the website of the company where sometime they upload the PDF file of the entire IPF list and data. From there, you can see.
Okay, sir. Then
I hope
I'm
I have
putting.
answered.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Next question is how can we check that our amount is laying in bank? How can we check that our amount is laying in bank account? In the bank account, you cannot check. Na? Earlier, if dividend was credited in the past, then only you can see that. And that you can send to the company that I received the dividend on so and so date. That also can become an evidence that you are a shareholder of the company. But if you are maintaining books of then only it will be feasible. Otherwise, you need to see the entire passbook for last 5, 10, 20 years itself. And if you can see there was some dividend was credited by the company in that account by way of dividend warrant. Otherwise, you need to go to the website of the company and search your name by putting the correct name of the shareholder and the father name from there also. Sometimes they ask for the folio also, sometimes without folio also, you can see. Otherwise, few years back, the entire PDF file was also uploaded. So right now, the few companies have stopped uploading the entire file. Next question. Viewers, I request to put the questions. If you have anything which is pending or if I have not answered, I have not taken in my presentation. So no more questions? Okay. So no problem. So there is a IPF process, IPF compliances, what to do, and what type of formalities have to be completed, what preventive action has to be taken, and we must go back home and verify all our documents that our name either is not there, either in the investment document and the correct spelling on our PAN card, Aadhaar card, address, father name, even it is really very, very important for all of us to protect our own wealth. We all are professionally learned person, and I request all to maintain books of account to the extent possible. So that is also important for each and every individual. Okay. So actually, then I will just give you some other advisory how to protect your investment also, because what happens that we are not keeping a track, and all the investments are a different type of categories. Sometimes papers are there, sometimes not there. Death, road accident, we read newspaper, it is full of this type of news, and other unforeseen events are getting more common. Like COVID, you can see Balasotan accident, you can see recently this Himachal Pradesh collapse, and many other places, then flood, etc. People did not manage information about their investment in COVID pandemic. Can you believe that the unclaimed investment of people who expired in pandemic may be running in few lakhs of crores? Because when they gone to the hospital by through the family member, they have never given a thought that they will not come back. Even if there was a small fever, they were in a good condition, but good condition to talk, but they never knew that they will not come back. I lost my mother, I lost my best friend also. Yes. I will share you, Gyati. I will share you with the PPT. No worry. I have already
Okay,
shared the PPT with Mr. Acharya.
okay.
You can take it from him and share with the anybody whosoever is asking for it. The earning member has all the investment information, but those are not shared or selectively shared with a family member. Then what happens to them? So I request every individual to share the details of the investment. They can maintain a proper file, hard copy, soft copy, whatever the way they want. It is really very important to protect our own wealth from any disaster and contingency of our life. You don't know what may happen with whom, when. Rise in the nuclear family is a big challenge. See, right now, very few individuals who are our viewers or who are member of the institute will have more than two children. Very maximum is three. There will be hardly you must be knowing who has four children. So what happens if they are not aware of all this investment? That unclaimed money in future is going to increase because they are living in a small flat. Husband, wife, or children are living. Family is not aware, etc. and all. So one person have put a question. I have some share in physical form since 1995 and some UTI master share also. How can I transfer in demat form? I am also not receiving any dividend. So if please check your correct address with the company. What is your correct address or not? Because whatever address is there with the company, they will send correspondence or letter or dividend warrant at that address. If you have the same address, then again you must try to find out what has happened. Why then it is not coming? It may happen that somebody has stolen your share and got it transferred or transmitted in their own name itself. So that may be a cheating case. Remember one thing, that UTI master share and mutual fund cannot be transferred. Mutual fund can only be encashed by the unit holder. It cannot be transferred to third person. It can only be transmitted in case of death of any individual. So for this person who has put this question, I hope I have answered his query. They can write to the company and find out what has happened. Please send your KYC document to them and ask them what is the reason. They will explain you. Correct? So this is the reason. So we must protect our wealth. So now how to do that? Why it is needed? Uncertainty in life make it risky, man-made or natural calamity. Family must be in must be aware in any situation, because you cannot predict what is going to happen tomorrow with whom. Correct? So it's really very tough for an individual to guess what happens tomorrow. What is to be done? Family needs to be kept informed or in the loop. You must create a common email ID. On that email ID, all investment document can be shared. You can keep a Excel. In that you can save it, all the information about all the investment. You can maintain in your any accounting software. It may be any package. I'm not talking, it may be Tally, it may be Focus, it may be any other recipe or any internal software, whatever you can make. And I remember one thing, please keep a photocopy of hard documents with your family member close to your heart. Assign nomination is very, very important. I've already discussed with you. And then now the law is also asking to and made mandatory for the nomination. And there should be one person who is a custodian of your investments. So that can be anybody. It may be your professional colleague. It may be anyone. Correct. So how can we help? Enter into only nature of investment, no investment documents, etc. So like this is one of the company's product, so which may be not required now. So, but remember one thing, this is a very important advisory which I'm giving to please keep a track, be informed, inform your family members, keep a photocopy of your investment at two places, one at home, one at the office, one at your own place, and one at your neighbor or your relative place, close relative, and simple record keeping, but maintain at one place. And again, whenever you are making any changes, you're selling any investment, you are adding up in some investments, update that file. So that is very important. So I think this is what I discussed with you. So this is how we try to create the awareness across the country, and we are happy to share. And with the blessings, even Charanjot Nanda ji also had some query in the past. I try to give a solution to them. Even another president of our institute also has some issue. Even chairman, even many central council members have some issues, because this is a very specialized work and their focus area is not there. So we are there to help you out for any type of query. You are most welcome to talk to me to any time. You can note down my email ID and phone number if you have some queries. Always welcome, and it will be my privilege to serve my own brothers sisters from the same fraternity. So I'm very much privileged, and I'm thankful to the entire team and Gyati also for being there. Ayaj, Mr. Acharya, Mr. Animesh, and really the session of Mr. Bharat was also knowledgeable and enlightening to us. So this is what I can talk. There are many other agendas we can talk. And if anybody is having any other query related to any type of financial assets, it may be provident fund also. Provident fund is a big amount. 80,000 crore is unclaimed money. Many of viewers or our employees may have provident fund. There may be unclaimed money in the provident fund itself, which has become unclaimed. Many of us are victim of Sahara also. So there are many solutions are there. Please remember one thing, that no problem comes without any solution. It is up to you where you find out the solution, and you must reach to the right person. That is the thing. This is what I can suggest you. Now I may request if any other question is there from the viewer, or I can request Gyati to open the speaker window, or they can ask the question even if they are not sending in chat box.
So that option cannot be enabled, but yes, I'm putting their queries in the chat box.
So one question you have said again is the senior citizens should not hold shares in their individual names to avoid transmission of shares. No, it is not necessary. They can hold a share in their own name, but I request them to make a nomination. But please don't keep it in physical anymore. Please make it dematerialized. And again, remember one thing, for getting the share dematerialized, you don't need any expertise. You just fill up a form, DRF form, go to your share broker or ask them, give a phone call, send an email, correct, that as we want that form, they will give you one form. Along with that, you need to attach the original share certificate, attach the PAN card and your KYC document, a cancel check and your Aadhaar card. After that, they will get the share dematerialized in your own name itself. And after that, I request all the senior citizens to nominate the share number one. And second thing, I will strongly recommend to make a will if you have become senior citizen. Rather, I started sharing each and every individual whosoever is more than even 50-year old now. Any other? Is it better to buy mutual fund instead of investing in share of more than 50 companies? It is your own choice, but as per my assessment, if you put investment in share market, it will multiply more. But be very careful before choosing the stock. Do the proper due diligence of the company. See what is the current market price, what is the PE ratio, what is the price of the other competitor company of the similar level. So if the P ratio of one company is 80, in the same segment of the P ratio of a company is 120. So you should not put that share the money into that company whose P ratio is 120. That is earning multiplied by 120 times is the price. So that is overpriced. Be careful of these type of stocks which are very, very highly priced. Okay, again, at the same time, if you look at a company whose P ratio is very low in the same segment, so that may be also risky. So try to make the investment in different companies. Like we already say, don't put all your eggs into the same basket. In the same way, don't put all your money into the one stock. Diversify in different segment. Choose your segment, and you can look at some expert advice from the newspaper or some experts and do your own diligence. All are professionals. There are any address where I can send my physical share to convert them in demat? I have many change of address. Sir, the address of the concerned registrar and transfer agent is important for you. You need to send a letter to the registrar of the same company. There is not a single place for the change of address. Number one. Number two, if you have physical share, even if you have old address, correct your address in the demat account. After that, if there is no split and bonus in that company, then you can submit the share with the necessary form, DRF form, with the concerned company wherever you have a demat account and a trading account. Demat account is important. Trading account you can have a different place. So there is no single address. Only RTA of the concerned company is the address where you need to send to them. Otherwise, if you have any query, you can talk to the company secretary of the company because their senior numbers are available on that portal. You can talk and take the proper guidance from them.
So there are no more queries, sir.
So if you want, I can continue talking in general talk. If you want in different topics, we can cover up. Otherwise, we can conclude the session if you want.
Sir, you decide how
Can
would
you
like
cover
to.
up? Huh?
You decide if you would like to provide insights about other things. You may go ahead.
I would like to cover up a different topic little bit since we all are professional, and one of my favorite topic is networking. And second one is do some social work, give it back to the society. We all are professional, learned person, A-class citizen of the country, and we have much more than anybody else. So it is our duty to give it back to the society, work with honesty, work with integrity, and try to work in the benefit of anybody whosoever you are working with, whether he is your client and whether he is your boss, is if you are in job. So one thing is the second one, is if you are going and visiting any rural place, please try to address the students. Try to make them aware what to do, what not to do. Recently, I had visited 2, 3 schools in the village area where people do not know. They have never seen English newspaper. They do not know that they should have a dictionary. They don't know how to read English. They don't know few meanings. Even they can't make a simple sentence. The same. I have also studied in the same environment. But if somebody would have come and delivered a lecture in my school, definitely I would have followed that. So, and if you can gift a dictionary to individual, that will be the best gift if we can give it to any individual. So give it back to the society, whatever you have. You have तन, मन, धन और ज्ञान. जिस व्यक्ति के पास में जो हो, जितना देंगे उतना बढ़ेगा. तो इससे भी ये जो एजुकेशन और लर्निंग आज आप लोगों ने ली इसके बारे में, सो ये भी मैं सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि वो अपने फ्रेंड सर्कल के अंदर में अपने रिलेटिव से, अपने क्लाइंट से, अपने जूनियर से, अपने कुलीग से सबसे शेयर करें. तभी जा करके अपना ये जो पर्पज जो है अवेयरनेस का, या लोगों को आपका पर्पज क्या है, अवेयरनेस, एजुकेशन, सो देन ओनली दिस रियल पर्पज विल बी फुलफिल्ड. And this PPT I have already shared. If anybody want to talk or discuss anytime, I'm always ready to help them out and solve the query also. So networking is real network. So if you develop your network, and not only this, with increased network, I get a lot of clients itself. Every individual, if they say the moment you open up your mouth, your level of knowledge and intelligence is being communicated to the other person. So you must try to enhance your knowledge base and client itself. If the moment you educate your client about some subject matter, they will ask a question from you. If you don't have the answer, and after that you take the answer from the concerned person, they feel happy that they get a solution to this problem also. And this is a problem of each and every individual house. I can challenge you, you talk to 10 by the individual in the past. Because lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, I'm not saying they are responsible, because it's not day-to-day individual. So in the same way, it is equally important for all of us to create awareness, educate others, so this unclaimed money is not increased, it is being reduced because of professionalism with our huge contribution from our own prestigious institute. And I must appreciate the efforts made by the Capital Market Committee and all our team members of that committee and the entire institute, or Central Council members also. If anything is there, we continue. Otherwise, shall we conclude?
Yes, sir. I think there are no other queries. So we can proceed to conclude. Sir, I'm really delighted to listen to your session, and I must say that you are a man with noble thoughts, and I'm very much sure that your message will be with us forever. The session has been very insightful and much needed. Thank you, Abhay sir, for your time and efforts. It has been our pleasure to listen and understand the nitty-gritty of IE, its objectives, how to claim money from IEPF and its 5 steps, indemnity bond, NOC by legal hire, etc. The PPT and the way you explain and the way you address the queries is commendable. We are really privileged to have you and Bharat sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot to all the individual and all viewers and the entire team. Thank you, Mr. Bharat.
Thank you so much, sir. I must also congratulate for the great insights which you gave. And I'm going to come to you very soon as a client. A lot of unlisted and listed shares will be there in my family. And surely would look forward to connect to you, and a wonderful session.
If you talk about the unclaimed money, if you add on the real estate, the business recovery, the loans, the dispute between the two parties, between the two shareholders, between the flat allottees, you will not believe what is the total unclaimed or disputed amount or money in trouble. It will go in $1 trillion You will not believe this. Do you know how many cases are there in the total courts of the country? All courts, civil courts, lower courts and upper courts. Any number, any case? Gyati, do you have any case? It's 4 crore, more than 4 crore cases are there.
Oh,
4 crore cases. Can you
that's a
imagine?
huge number.
I could guess it in lakhs only. I could never go to crores.
You go Google ecourts.gov.in. You will see the numbers. So even if you put a small number to this amount, where this money will go? Just imagine.
But sir, it's wonderful to see your commitment to help the country, the individual investors in helping them out to get their something which is a non-performing thing, something which is dug deeply inside the in the earth, and then unearthing those things. And it's a great commitment from your end, and lovely to see.
Thank you. Sir. Thank you.
I will wish you all the best in this journey.
Thanks a lot.
And hopefully by 2025, your work should reduce. After that, your work should reduce.
So we are entering into different domain. There are some legal recoveries also. We started litigation funding. Legal matters is a big domain. And you will not believe the cases goes on. We solved one case which was pending for 40 years. And we solved it in 40 weeks. Can you imagine?
That's
40
a great achievement, sir.
years versus 40 weeks we solved that legal matter. Can you imagine?
That's a great achievement, sir. Good to hear that.
Thousands of clients we have already served, and many are in the pipeline. It's a different type of area also, and which every individual, all viewers can also do that their own as a part of their practice itself. There is no rocket science to this. This is I'm sharing. I'm creating my own competition with this comment. But I will be very happy that if every individual gets the solution and this unclaimed amount of money is being reduced. Because ultimately, one day I will also go. Okay, one day I will also die. But everything will remain here. But my good acts and my good vision and my good work will remain here. People will remember for that. So that is what I wish.
That's
and
right,
that is
sir.
the duty of each and every individual to give it back to the society.
Absolutely. And you
Thanks a
also
lot.
made a very noble cause, sir. Great to hear, and
Yes, thank
congrats
you.
once again. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Jai.